Pat and I had so many great matches. He was truly, I think, the most enjoyable player for me to compete against because he was such a sportsman. He's just a good guy. He was a class act in victory and defeat. His game was opposite of mine, but yet, unlike Sampras, he allowed me to get into a rhythm out there, and I always knew I was going to play well against him, and we would raise each other's game.
That's too good.
I'll never forget the humidity and the heat that was there off the court, building up over the day. I'll never forget the amount of sweat. We both were heavy sweaters.
Early change of shirt. Only 7 games having been played, underlying what you were saying about the humidity.
Yeah, it is still very humid. Rafter's always got to sweat up after about 3 points too, hasn't he?
He stood still for too long, he'd been a puddle.
The noise when I went down 2-1. It felt like you were sitting in front of a giant speaker at a 100,000 seat concert, and my head was ringing. That was so loud, and I had to leave the court to go change my shoes. They were sopping wet.
Well, you would think he'd won, wouldn't you, by the way the crowd has responded?
And I remember, Pat starting to struggle with, the depletion that was happening, the physical depletion. I started to feel the rewards of all the work I put in to get ready for a tournament that was so important to me.
Agassi looks as fresh as a daisy. I mean, he's perspiring, but apart from that...
Getting across that finish line and watching the crowd go from rooting for him to kind of rooting for competition, just the sheer sport of it. I felt that shift, and that's something I'll never forget.